What's going on, you guys? Lit Man Tuck here with another book review, and I'm getting ready to change paths for a little while. I know I've been doing all game lit, but like I told you guys before, I'm going to branch out because I want to do a review of all my books, and I have all sorts of different genres. So today I'm going to talk about the superhero genre, and I think that falls under the fantasy or whatever, but this is a superhero book. And so I want to talk about The Evil Genius, books 1 through 4. I'm not going to do a book by book. I'm just going to give a whole play-by-play. And I absolutely loved it. Now, I will say this is not one that you want to hand to your kids because even though it's good, some of the characters get a little dark. There's a lot of gore, but then there's some crazy erotic scenes in there. A little unnecessary, but hey, it was in there, and it's, yeah. So don't give this to your teenage son or daughter, like, hey, check this book out, blah blah blah. Not gonna happen. But anyway, The Evil Genius. So the main character, he's a billionaire, and the cool part about this book is they mirror the actual hero world that we watch or that we see in our comics. And so the main character, he is a lot like Iron Man. And so he sees the heroes, and the heroes are, a little bit overblown. They're into social media. They do it all for the likes and views and stuff. And so they will capture a villain, and then either the villain will break out in a couple of months, or they'll just let them go because they try to give them a fair trial. And the villains, they get out of jail, and then they go kill about 50 or 60 more people, and then they capture them again. And it's this big old game. And so the main character, who was a billionaire because of just electronics and tech and different businesses, he gets tired of it. And so he decides to build him a suit. And there's some pretty cool characters in there, man. Like his assistant, her name is Norma. And she has a superpower, but she wasn't able to make the Wardens. Now, the Wardens are the actual superheroes. They call themselves Wardens. And they're all about social media. They're all about the fame, the fortune. And they don't really capture heroes for good. But she didn't make the Wardens because of her superpower. They didn't like it. Her ability is to be absolutely normal at everything. And at first that sounds pretty weak. And in the book she has a very low confidence, but then as we progress, we see that her power is probably one of the most dominant or most powerful supers in the world. Because can you imagine being normal at everything you do? So she has an average ability at everything. So she could be a normal or average doctor. She could be an average race car driver. There's parts in the book to where she is a martial artist, and she can perform every single martial arts at a normal level. And so can you imagine to fight somebody that keeps switching up their styles like that? Another character in the book, because he recruited these people. So that was his assistant. And then he actually recruited somebody from the Wardens. Her name was Dynamo. And ended up being his girlfriend. And she didn't have any special superpowers. Her superpower was super strength, some speed, and then she had the ability to tell if somebody was lying or not, even though she was a terrible liar. And then he has his assistant, who's basically an AI or a super robot. Her name is Eileen, and she just keeps developing as the book goes by, and she's pretty funny as well. And so those are the main characters. And so the thing is, though, he is so sick of this. He's like, you know what, these villains, they come out and they kill 50 people. I'm tired of seeing people die. So I'm going to create a suit, and I'm going to take my friends over here, and we're going to go chase down these villains. But instead of arresting them and taking them in, we're just going to kill them. And so at the beginning of the book, somebody tried to kill him. And so he caught the villains and he just kills them. And so the Wardens or the other superheroes, they start to catch on. And so they're like, hey, you need to chill, you need to fall back. And all of these superheroes are like someone that's in the superhero world. So the main character, he's like Iron Man, I told you that already. And Norma, his assistant, that's kind of like Iron Man's assistant. And then Optimo, he's a douchebag, but his powers are sort of like Superman. He's super strong, he can fly, but he's like a straight up douchebag. And then he goes to another city, and there's a character who is just like Batman. I mean, a lot like Batman, but they change him up a little bit. I forgot his name. I think it's a Shadow Knight or something like that. And he does his voice like Batman. But he is also a billionaire. But he makes a lot of money just from straight up copying off of the main character. So he'll copy and make a lesser version of the tech. And so he's a millionaire, but he uses a lot of equipment like Batman. You know, he has, you know, like Chinese stars or shurikens or whatever you want to call them. He uses a lot of grapple hooks and, you know, pulls himself all over the place. Everything is like Batman, but except he's a crow, you know. So instead of being a, oh damn, speaking of a crow, I just had a bird. Oh my goodness. Can you hear that? A bird is literally on my ceiling, man. So damn, I guess I just summoned some crows over here. But anyway, all of his stuff is like a crow. And, you know, he acts a lot like Bruce Wayne in real life, but a more exaggerated version. He's not really interested in women, but he has women all around him just to kind of put on his facade. But then the Shadow Knight is when he turns into that raven or crow-like character. And it's a lot like Batman. And his story is a lot like Batman. When he was a little kid, his parents were killed by supers, though, instead of some regular people. But as a little kid, so he's just this very dark hero. And his nemesis is a guy named Maniac. And man, Maniac is an interesting character because he wasn't in the book the entire time. Like, they'll tell stories about him. But at the end of the book, now I'm going to put a little spoiler in here. So if you don't want it to get spoiled, you might as well pause it. But at the end of the book, when Shadow Knight is finally killed, Maniac is pissed off. And so the Maniac is talking. And the things that he's doing to his body, like, he's pissed, but he's like stabbing his body. He like pulls his entrails out and he puts his face in his, like, just crazy. But the way he's talking, Maniac, his character is just like the Joker. And so I'm pretty sure there's going to be a book 5 coming out. There's no way they're going to have a character like Maniac and they're not going to make another book. So I cannot wait for this book. And like I said, the story is pretty much just like the superheroes. The characters just like Batman, Superman, and they change them a little bit and they're a little bit darker. You know, I do like the Evil Genius because he is a darker version of Iron Man where he's just killing these supervillains, man. He hunts them down and he kills them. And you know, over time, he's increasing his tech. He's increasing his technology and getting stronger, and they're able to take on stronger villains. So anyway, man, that's my review, man. I'm going a little bit in a different direction. It's just not game lit with me, man. I love all sorts of book. I love the game lit. I love you know, the superhero series. I like urban fiction, and then I'm going to be talking about some street lit. So I do like street lit, and that's totally different. So the game lit and the superheroes, those are kind of related. So if you read game lit, you probably read the superhero books. Superhero books, you probably read the game lit, a little bit of fantasy here and there. Street lit, might not be too many of you guys that read the street lit, or you might be introduced to something new that you like. But anyway, man, that's all I got for today, man. Hope you check the book out. I enjoyed it. It's great. But that's all I got for you today, man. I am out.